Okay, hey, so I hate that this thing has this like light so you can see what's in the background, but what to do here, I can probably just take off my glasses. I don't need to read anything right at the current moment. Okay, so I wanted to give an update so I've done a little bit more work around the thinking of this product. I kind of do need to read some, I need my glasses later. But essentially, I really love that Google Docs has this new document task feature. I didn't understand it when I first learned about them about 2 weeks ago, but now that I've started using them more and more with these prompts, I wish I had had them for past past prompts when building products with Bolt because it helps do additional ancillary work that still is not part of the user stories or the building of the blocks of what this application will be, but it helps with context. So I know that eventually for this application, for reference one, I do want the people who are giving references a to call an AI agent and speak to them as if they're a person, right? That's kind of like the whole point of this is to remove the work of the people who are getting the references while still having the quality control of making sure that the right questions get answered and that they have the correct insights into what the person is actually telling, like what the person is saying. So normally, especially now, you might use something like Granola or Fathom to run a reference check so that they can, have an AI note taker on the call that will help do follow ups, that will help distill information, check the sentiment, things like that. But when you use an AI agent to take the call, they automatically transcribe. They automatically will give you insights and sentiments if you ask them to. They will analyze the voice data or the voice stream and the transcription data against whatever you want to look for in a positive candidate reference. And so by doing that, you need to have some type of like knowledge base if you're going to use AI, but you also need an elite prompt. So I haven't built out the knowledge base quite yet for what this AI agent should be looking for to really have a good reference. Essentially, what I'll probably do is just go out and find like the best, like read probably a dozen or so articles, and then I will distill that down into like, here's what a great reference sounds like. Here's what their speech patterns will be like. Here's how they'll talk about the candidate. Here's how to spot one that's just a good friend of a candidate versus a good reference from a candidate. So I'll do that later. But in the meantime, what I have done is I really want there to be a good experience for the person who's uploading the job, right? It hit me later after really thinking through this process over the last day of what I want this application to be is like, if it can't just be copy and paste a job description, what if the person actually has a job description, but it's not a high quality understanding, like the job description on text? Maybe they copy and paste it from other people's job descriptions, but they haven't put the it factor, the how do you say it, je ne sais quoi, that like special X factor. It's better hearing it from them. So if I want to hear what they're actually looking for in a reference and not just a job description, I actually want to ask them. So I'm going to add a feature in this application that allows someone to give extra context to a job. And so what I did was I went to ChatGPT, I gave them this whole thing that I'm telling you right now, and I said, act as a hiring manager. I want you to talk to the employer and figure out exactly what they're looking for. I need to know what the job title is, what the company overview is. I want to know, right here I put if the employer is unclear on any part, prompt them with clarifying questions to ensure accuracy. Sorry, I'm reading without glasses. So it really, right here, here's an example that I'm going to feed to the AI agent. It's like, here's an example. Employer, we need someone to manage our social media, like post on LinkedIn. And then the clarifying question is like, what do you want this to be? Will they create content and need analytics and need community engagement? So it really wants to get deeper into that because I sometimes want them to essentially regurgitate what the job description is and see if what they copy and paste is going to be different from what they would actually say. And that could be a really interesting thing because I think that they could be different. So these little document tabs will help kind of add supplemental information, especially if you're going to use other people's APIs. For what we're going to use with this prompt, we're going to use 11 Labs. They have these really cool agents that we've used in other products for people to call a phone number and get exposed to things. I think what instead of having a phone number that someone's going to call, I think I'm going to have I'm not sure I'm going to do it yet, implementation wise, but it's either going to be the reference is going to call a number and reference the candidate name, and then we'll automatically transcribe and transpose that onto a candidate profile, or we're going to have the reference load into an app, like with a link, and just like press a button. And so that way we won't need the Twilio API. We can just use 11 Labs as straight up embed of the voice agent, the AI agent that they have. So it's going to be quite a few moving parts. I'll try to capture all of it, but right now I'm going through again. This early part is how you save on tokens. This is how you build an application and not some like to-do app that no one can actually use, that's not commercially viable, that doesn't go through what someone would actually use. It's probably just for your personal life. But if you're trying to make something commercial, like what I want this to be, you got to kind of go through these steps of thought, because that is part of the idea maze, if you will, of figuring out, okay, is this thing viable? How am I going to test it with people? So it's not more than just, for the first 3 months, I was just seeing people saying, I built this app with AI. And like, I'm not saying the apps were trash. I'm just saying like they were just like trying to one. I mean, I just saw it recently. Someone was like, "Oh, I one shot at an application," but it's like it's not usable. It's not usable. It's not innovative, and there's going to be a lot of bugs in it because they didn't really think it out. And so, like, also a lot of things that you'll see is someone, they'll deploy to Netlify, and I automatically just like, no, you need like a custom domain. You need to actually turn it into a business. You're going to have to process it just like I'm doing it right now, which seems very tedious because I haven't even gotten into Bolt yet. But these are the steps that you need to take, in my opinion, of building a few of these and also training people and building apps for other people. To me, it really helps to really like think through it the same way that you would any business. Just because it's easy to build doesn't mean that you should build it, and it doesn't mean that it should be easy for you to like construct and architect your application or your product. And this is the product management part of things that I feel like a lot of people are missing out on. So hopefully this helps. In the next one, I am probably going to have all of these built out, and then we can actually go into Bolt. Which will be exciting because we can start like putting rubber to the road, so to speak. And that's that.